Rachel Zegler had hoped to silence her critics, but instead, she might have ignited a firestorm that could change the course of her career forever. What started as a heartfelt attempt to reclaim her narrative quickly spiraled into one of the biggest celebrity controversies of the year. From viral backlash to box office disaster, her portrayal of Snow White became a symbol of Hollywood's missteps, and now the internet has turned her into its latest target. But is this just another case of online outrage? Or is there something deeper at play? Let's break it down. I'm Elle. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily celebrity updates. Rachel Zegler probably thought she was setting the record straight, but instead, she fanned the flames of controversy even more. In a now viral clip, the Snow White actress tried to defend herself against the wave of backlash that had been building for months. She insisted that her comments about the original Snow White were taken out of context, emphasizing that she never intended to disrespect the beloved classic, but her attempt at damage control quickly went south. Rather than softening the internet's fury, her response came off as dismissive to some, defensive to others, and even downright entitled to the most critical voices online. The video, which was meant to clarify her stance, ended up reinforcing the very narrative she was trying to escape, that she was ungrateful for the opportunity and out of touch with the film's core audience. Within hours, social media was flooded with reactions. Fans dissected every word, some expressing support while others doubled down on their criticism. Old interviews resurfaced where Rachel spoke about how Snow White needed to be modernized and how the prince's storyline was creepy. Clips of her laughing about how much she disliked the original film were now being shared alongside her latest statements, making her apology, or at least her attempt at an explanation, feel insincere. The backlash was no longer just about Snow White. It became a larger conversation about Hollywood, entitlement, and whether certain stars are hurting their own careers by speaking too candidly. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, they did. The internet's reaction quickly evolved into full-blown meme culture. Edits of Rachel's interviews were turned into parody videos. Critics began labeling her as another example of Hollywood's disconnect from its audience. Even casual moviegoers, who might not have cared about the controversy before, were now taking notice. What started as an actress trying to clear her name had now turned into one of the most talked about PR disasters in recent memory. And the worst part? The movie hadn't even come out yet. Rachel Zegler probably never imagined that a few offhand comments could ignite one of the biggest internet controversies of the year. But the moment she spoke about Snow White needing a modern update and how she found the prince's storyline creepy, the internet was set ablaze. Fans of the original Disney classic felt disrespected, while others saw her remarks as another example of Hollywood rewriting beloved stories in ways that alienate audiences. What made matters worse was that Rachel's tone in these interviews, whether intentional or not, came off as dismissive, even mocking to those who cherished the original film. Instead of rallying excitement for the upcoming live-action remake, her words fueled an unexpected cultural battle, pitting nostalgic Disney lovers against a new wave of Hollywood stars trying to reimagine the past. As the backlash spread, social media turned into a battleground. Old interviews resurfaced where Rachel doubled down on her critiques of the original Snow White, calling it outdated and lacking relevance. While some fans defended her stance, arguing that every generation deserves its own version of a fairy tale, others saw it as yet another example of Hollywood actors failing to appreciate the legacy of the roles they're stepping into. The controversy was no longer just about a movie. It became a debate over respect for classic storytelling, Hollywood's approach to remakes, and whether young stars should be more careful with their words when promoting major films. Then came the memes. Clips of Rachel's interviews were taken out of context and remixed into parody videos, mocking the way she spoke about the film. Hashtags like Mike's Not My Snow White and Not Just Snow White Disaster trended as fans debated whether she had single-handedly doomed the movie before it even hit theaters. Some accused her of arrogance, while others blamed Disney for pushing an agenda that disregarded the source material. Meanwhile, comparisons to past live-action Disney princesses, like Lily James's Cinderella and Emma Watson's Belle, only made Rachel's situation look worse, as both actresses had managed to honor the original films while bringing their own spin to the characters. The situation escalated so quickly that even mainstream media outlets began covering the backlash. What should have been a routine promotional tour for Snow White had now spiraled into a full-blown PR nightmare. Rachel found herself at the center of an internet storm that no amount of damage control could easily fix. The question now wasn't just about whether the movie would succeed, but whether Rachel's career could withstand the fallout. What started as a few controversial comments has snowballed into a full-blown PR disaster, and now all eyes are on Snow White. But for all the wrong reasons. Instead of building excitement for Disney's latest live-action remake, Rachel Zegler's comments have sparked a massive boycott movement, with fans vowing to skip the film altogether. Many believe the studio's handling of the controversy, seemingly letting Rachel double down on her comments rather than guiding her toward damage control, has only made matters worse. Meanwhile, some former Disney stars and filmmakers have subtly weighed in, with industry veterans hinting that the studio is out of touch with its audience. But here's where things get really messy. Early test screenings haven't exactly been glowing. Rumors are swirling that Snow White has undergone multiple reshoots, further delaying its release. Some reports claim that Disney executives are panicking behind the scenes, scrambling to salvage what's left of the film's reputation before it hits theaters. Even the decision to push the release date back to 2025 has fueled speculation that the studio is bracing for a financial disaster. And then there's Rachel Zegler herself. Once seen as a rising star, she now finds herself at a career crossroads. Some believe she could recover from this with the right project, while others argue that her handling of the backlash has made her a cautionary tale for young actors navigating Hollywood. Either way, the damage has been done. The real question now is, can Snow White overcome the controversy, or will it cement itself as Disney's biggest mistake yet? Hollywood loves a rising star until they become a liability. Rachel Zegler, once hailed as one of the industry's most promising young actresses, now finds herself in dangerously murky waters. After her controversial remarks about Snow White ignited a massive online backlash, insiders are whispering that some major studios may be quietly distancing themselves from her. The question is, has Rachel damaged her career beyond repair? Or is this just another temporary scandal in the ever-forgiving entertainment industry? At first, it seemed like Hollywood would stand by her. Disney, despite the relentless criticism, continued promoting Snow White and even attempted to spin the controversy as misinterpretation. But behind the scenes, the mood is reportedly shifting. Executives are nervous. Casting directors, once eager to attach her name to projects, are now second-guessing whether the backlash will follow her into future films. There are even rumors that certain projects Rachel was in talks for have quietly moved on to other actresses without any public announcements. One major red flag? The silence from her peers. In an industry where A-listers typically rally behind each other at the first sign of trouble, Rachel's support system seems eerily quiet. Unlike past cases where celebrities under fire received waves of public defenses from co-stars and directors, Rachel's controversy has largely been met with avoidance. Some believe this signals a deeper issue, that Hollywood is unwilling to take a risk on an actress whose public perception has become so divisive. This isn't just about one film. It's about how the industry perceives her brand. PR experts say Rachel's handling of the situation has only made matters worse, as her responses have been interpreted as dismissive rather than apologetic. Hollywood, always hyper-aware of audience sentiment, may see her as a box office risk. And in an era where public opinion can dictate casting decisions, that risk is one studios aren't willing to take. So, what's next for Rachel Zegler? Will she weather the storm and make a triumphant comeback? Or is she about to learn the hard way that Hollywood's love is conditional? If the industry does turn its back on her, Snow White could mark not just the beginning of a franchise disaster, but the unraveling of a once promising career.